Well, I identify as pansexual, demisexual, sapiosexual. It's a lot of them. But it's like I mainly identify with pansexuality, demisexuality, and sapiosexuality.
So when I first came out with my parents, it was a no-go. I grew up in a religious background, of course. My mom was deep into church. My grandpa was a pastor, so it was a whole, big deal when I first came out. I'm actually first of two of my siblings that actually came out, and I was first one. So the first one, it always is like the I don't want to say the test dummy, but that's what it was. That's what it was. But I mean, I got through it. So
identify as gay. And to be honest, that has been like a really difficult process to try and navigate for myself, especially with my relationship with my mom. It's mainly just been me just really trying to figure out like who I am as a person. Like when I was younger, I have been in the continuous coming out process because a lot of people really consider it a process. So I've been in the coming out process since I was at least 16, maybe 17, because for a long time I never really told my parents.
I do feel like in the church, being gay or liking the same sex is it's a sin. That's what we're taught. That's a sin. That you have to marry a woman. You can't marry a man. So of course I felt like I was doing something wrong. I was a sinner. I was a bad one. I kept it bottled up forever. I mean, I think everyone knew, but I just wanted to continue to see myself in God's eyes as pure. And also I didn't want to disrespect or shame my mother. My mom was really what I was trying to impress. But at the end of the day, you just gotta worry about yourself and love yourself first. You can't just. This is my life. That's how I. Now thinking back at it being 30, like this is my life. Like I'm not about to live a life of a lie for someone else when this is my life.
So yeah, the moment where I just kind of like came out, I guess, because it was like really kind of abrupt because it was when I was coming home from school.
Before you tell that, approximately how old were you when this happened?
I was at least 17 when this happened.
Okay.
And this is the first time my mom ever actually ever like done this. Like she opens the garage door and she's like, "Okay, tell me right now, are you gay?" I'm like, how do you react to that? Especially like, okay,
I have two parents. How will I describe this? I feel like it's a lot better than what it was initially. Well, they I honestly think they just think I'm gay, but I identify as pan, so they don't have the lexical quality to understand what that word means. Because they're like, you're either gay or you're straight. So really, it's just like, I don't feel like pushing in the middle or pushing myself out, so I let them think whatever they want. As long as it doesn't like impede our natural conversation ability and a natural level of communication. As long as you respect me, I can care less about what you think.
And what age did you come out?
I was 19.
19.
I was 19. Senior. I was a senior. Yeah, I was a senior or after senior. It was like after senior year. I had 4 heads I came out. So, yeah.
And you've mentioned that, 2 of your other siblings have, came out as queer, gay, or they're identifying. What was that process like for you when they came out?
I feel like I kind of made it easier for them to, come out to my mom and dad.
Our relationship after that, complete transparency moment. I did not like my mother for the longest time. Like our relationship was not the best. I didn't want to be around her. I didn't want to talk to her. Like our relationship was just like really rocky because I feel like in a certain capacity, just being on the outside looking in, she really didn't know how to handle it, or she didn't really know how to go about it. So there were quite a bit of arguments, and I can't really pinpoint when it started to get better. I think it started to get better when I started coming more into myself and started to love myself a lot more. And you know, with understanding yourself, you kind of get a better understanding of other people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you can be more patient with people, just like you're patient with yourself.
I would say traditionally, like I said, like we spoke before, like I think I have a better relationship with my parent than like people who normally don't. Mm-hmm. Yes, I had a coming out, but I really say no because they already thought it themselves. So it was already made up in their mind what I was. So it's not like it really changed anything. It would just confirm basically. So it's not really like me coming out, they already thought it. So it's like, wow, you have an opinion. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just like, of course it's not gonna affect how I feel about myself, but they already thought about it. It's just like, what power do I have over that if they already have that thought process? No?
There's really no like plan book for being a parent. You know, I feel like my parents were just ignorant to it. They didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know how to talk about it. You know, like I really can't blame it because, you know, no parent knows how to deal with that. You know, you just got to just love your child. That's all you can do is just love your child, regardless of what they like or what they do. So, but I mean, my other two, like they definitely had it easier. You know, it was a lot of things that happened with me, but you know, I conquered it. And my friends were very important. That's what kept me sane and going. So.
Well, I was always out. I was always working, whether it was doing actual work, because you know, I worked at several retail jobs, and then you know, coming to Transit Arts every Tuesday, mostly having dance performances. DSB called me up like, "What are you doing?" Like I would not be in the house as often. With me being in spaces that accepted me wholeheartedly for being who I am, being in places that I knew where I would be cared for, that helped my mental out a lot. And being around people that wouldn't judge me for me just being myself, that's what helped me a lot too.
Do research and really look into it because there's certain policies that affect your children or even just what your children are exposed to. They need someone to be like, hey, I found this online. Like, what does this mean? And I will like, I don't want to talk about that. You know, just the natural like conversation level is just like allow it to be open instead of like your way all the time.
Firstborn is gay, you know, like something's wrong with you. Like I was in counseling for years because I thought they thought something was wrong with me mentally or something. Like no, but I do feel like when I went to those classes and I talked to mom about that, that's when she took me out of it, and that's when she kind of started talking to me more, communicating with me more, you know. And I just feel like communication was key. Just talk to your kids because you know, just talk to them. I mean, because. If your parents don't accept it, then there's gonna be other people in the world that definitely don't accept it. And then like I feel like the kids really just want their parents to accept them as they are, and like you know, because that's your mom and dad. You know, you need their approval first before anyone else's.
Just the willingness just to sit down and like have a conversation with me, especially going through certain periods in my development with my sexuality, especially during my first ever like breakup, and this was like after college. I really would have wanted patience because I think something that parents really need to understand, need to grasp, especially with dealing with a child that is within the spectrum of the LBGTQIA plus community, is that this is a process for us too. Like we're trying to figure ourselves out just as much as you guys are trying to figure out us. have an open heart and listen to your kids, because it means the world to them, and it will definitely change their perspective on a lot of things.